Hey, this is Mike from Free Grace Community Church, and today is a little bit different than I normally do every week, but I didn't see anyone discussing this article online, and it's got some very important information that I need to go over, and maybe this video can get out to people and let them know what's going on. Um, Focal Points blog is this article. Trump signed a directive to accelerate 6G deployment to operate implantable technologies. Newly developed AI brain chips, known as the Biological Interface System to Cortex, will merge human consciousness with AI, a dangerous path to dystopia, by Nicholas Holscher, MPH. He's a master of public health, I think. So the article reads, a few months ago, President Trump signed a directive to accelerate 6G deployment with a stated goal to operate implantable technologies. And indeed, there was a presidential memorandum on December 19th, 2025 called Winning the 6G Race. And this is a screenshot of it. You can go look it up. It's on the White House website. Just have to look it up. By the authority invested in me as president. So it says he's directing section 1. The next generation of mobile communications networks, 6G, will be foundational to the national security, foreign policy, and economic prosperity of the United States. This technology will play a pivotal role in the development and adoption of emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, robotics, and implantable technologies. 6G will also provide faster, more resilient, and more secure communication networks that can be utilized for national security and public safety purposes. So this technology, 6G, is actually the speed that it provides is required to roll out things like an implant chip that will track you everywhere you go. As we know, it is the mark of the beast. So they are rolling out the mark of the beast system, and this what is to enable it. And robotics is interesting because if they wanted to implant an artificial intelligence inside of a robot and have it walk around autonomously, they would need the 6G communications in order for that to be enabled as well. So we're going to see, and the U.S. government is also working on autonomous weapons that can fire weapons on their own using AI, right? So make the decision without human intervention. So we're going to see robot policemen or something that can actually make a decision to kill someone or not without any human being involved. And that just seems to be related to this 6G as well. So to continue, Nokia's CEO said that by 2030, smartphones will be implanted directly into our bodies as 6G becomes fully operational. So there's this clip of him from the World Economic Forum.
About 6G earlier, which is around 2030, I would say that by then, definitely the smartphone as we know it today will not anymore be the usual kind of the most common interface. Wow. Many of these things will be built directly into our bodies.
So he's talking about you're not going to have a smartphone anymore. And we've also seen people, other billionaires, talk about this as well, where they said they're like Sam Altman from OpenAI said that they're working on something that they can't just talk about right now, but it's going to be a revolution, and it's above and beyond a smartphone. So they're talking about this. This is going to be an implantable technology to connect you directly to the internet from your brain. It says this will likely involve a newly developed AI brain implant known as the Biological Interface System to Cortex, BISC, developed by teams at Columbia University, New York Presbyterian Hospital, Stanford University, and the University of Pennsylvania. A radically miniaturized brain implant called BISC is redefining what's possible in human-computer interaction, offering a paper-thin, wireless, high-bandwidth link directly to the brain. Paper-thin and wireless. So we're talking a non-invasive version of a brain chip that will connect directly to your brain. So it won't require surgery. The obstacle to rolling out a brain chip now is the fact that it needs major surgery to implant, right? But now they're talking about this paper thin wireless thing that seems easy to roll out, maybe just like a needle or something. And it says with over 65,000 electrodes and unprecedented data throughput, it enables advanced AI decoding of thoughts, intentions, and sensory experiences while remaining minimally invasive. So it's going to be able to read your mind, and it will also be able to control your mind, because if they can read, they can also write. So they can write to your brain, and they can give you sensory experiences as well. And they can also read whatever you're seeing and everything you're doing. So it's not minimally invasive. It's minimally invasive to your brain, but it's maximally invasive to your privacy, right? So new paper-thin brain implant could transform how humans connect with AI. This is from the Columbia University School of Engineering and Applied Science from December 8th, 2025, talking about the BISC. Is a paper-thin, wireless, AI-ready brain implant poised to transform both neurotherapy and human-machine interaction. Just like when smartphones were first released, they rapidly became widespread throughout society, with most individuals becoming dependent on them for work and entertainment. The same path will likely occur with AI brain chips, as those who receive them may have enhanced cognitive abilities and possible telepathic communication with other brain chip users. So we're talking about they're going to have telepathy. They're rolling out, you'll be able to think better. All these so-called benefits that they're going to want you to take it, and you'll need it to work, which sounds familiar to when they rolled out the COVID stuff, that everyone said, "Oh, I have to take it because it's I need it to work," right? So I mean that was the trial run, and for this is going to be like a lot of people will want this because of these possible benefits. So let me take a look at this clip.
So we're into 6G now. I just finished 5G. I was a leader on 5G getting that done. And now they're up to 6.
Let's do it again.
What does that do? Give you a little bit deeper view into somebody's skin? See how perfect it is?
Yeah, it actually does. So Trump is rolling that out. And it says these customers will have merged their consciousness with AI. As Elon Musk puts it, we effectively become one with the AI.
If you're symbiotic with AI, where there's this essentially a merger of human and machine intelligence, then we may be able to address the relevance question. You have interwoven human and machine intelligence, and got something like Neuralink to augment human intelligence and improve the symbiosis with AI, that we effectively become maybe one with the AI.
So he's talking about the relevancy issue where AI will make humans irrelevant, but now if you get the brain chip, you'll be relevant. So they're putting out a relevancy message that you'll need this in order to be relevant to society. Okay, so now we're going to look at the health impact of this. Hundreds of studies have already linked 5G frequencies to significant biochemical changes, gene expression disruption, DNA damage, oxidative stress, neurological injury, and tumor growth. The assumption of safety is being used to justify the rollout of 5G technology. So there's a story about the 5G safety myth as well. They were assuming that it's safe. They were not proving that it was safe. They were just rolling it out and saying, "Oh, we're assuming it's safe. It's got to be safe." They weren't doing any studies. They weren't actually proving that it was safe. And there were many people warning that it was not safe. So there's plenty of issues with 5G, and so there will be with 6G as well. But the documented adverse biological effects of 5G are all this whole list here, which you can take a look at this article for yourself. I'll leave a link down below. Those who receive brain implants will likely experience some of these effects within their neurons as biologically harmful EMFs interface in direct contact with brain tissue. Needless to say, I will not be taking the 6G AI brain chip or merging my consciousness with machines. And I agree with him. I will not be taking it as well. So let's take a look at what the Bible has to say about this. Revelation 13, verse 16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So this is the mark of the beast they're rolling out. So that's why it says in their foreheads, because that's the brain chip. In their right hand is they already have implantable chips that go in the hand, right? So you can put your hand up to, check out at a grocery store at some places with these new implants that people are getting. I think it's people in Sweden may have gotten it. So they're rolling that out. But the thing is, the health effects, we see those in Revelation as well. So when God pours out his wrath, so the first vial of God's wrath, the very first thing that he pours it out on, says, and the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image. So number one wrath is a punishment against anyone who takes the mark of the beast. A noisome and grievous sore. This is like noisome and grievous. That's like very painful and it's not something you want to get, right? So, and then we have Revelation 14, where people are warned ahead of time what the consequences are of taking the mark of the beast. It says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice. So there were some angels flying and sending messages here. Just after they say Babylon is fallen. And then the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb, and the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast in his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. The penalty of the mark of the beast is eternal punishment in the lake of fire. So it's a strong warning against taking the mark. You cannot take the mark of the beast. Anyone who takes the mark is proving that they were never saved to begin with, because a saved person cannot end up in hell. But if you take the mark of the beast, you are going to end up there, and that's just proving you're never saved to begin with. The other thing they are doing in lockstep, a lot of these governments, they're putting in age verification laws in the US and globally, rapidly expanding. They say it's to protect the children, which it is not has nothing to do with protecting anyone. It has everything to do with controlling your access to the internet. They're requiring platforms to verify users' age via IDs or biometrics, or just like identifying your age with a, you know, a drop down or something manually to access different social media sites. Like even like Discord is doing it. There's rumors that YouTube is going to be doing it. And, they've been enacting these laws, all of them coming at the same time. And California just put a law in that requires every device, even servers, to have age verification in them. So like every possible device, like phones, you know, your watch, your TV, your internet fridge, anything that has access to the internet, they are putting in age verification. Now, so what's the age verification have to do with Mark of the Beast? Well, they need to be able to restrict your access to the internet. This age verification is just stage one. It just allows them to put in the infrastructure so that they can come along later and make changes to that and expand it from just age verification to, well, now you've got to put in your whole ID, and then you've got to put in your biometrics. And then, okay, well, we've got this new brain chip now, and now you need to authenticate with your new brain chip. And at that point, everyone who does not take the mark of the beast is going to be cut off from the internet. So we will be cut off from the internet because of this when they roll out the mark of the beast. Unless you have a device that doesn't comply with this, right? So I'm not sure. Like maybe some of us will have devices that can get around it because there's Linux. There's a lot of Linux distributions that are not complying with this. So we might still be able to get on the internet, but like the major big sites like YouTube and Discord and all these, I will not be able to log in anymore once the Mark of the Beast rolls out. So that's what this age verification is all about. So yeah, that's all I have for this article. So I'll leave a link to this article down below. You can read it for yourself. They are definitely working on rolling out the Mark of the Beast, and this 6G technology is coming as well. Our escape is found in Jesus. So, because we're saved, if you've believed in Jesus for eternal life, you're guaranteed to get to heaven, and they can't touch you. They can do whatever they want to you here on earth, but in the end, we're all going to win, and Jesus is going to come, and he's going to, take over the earth and rule over them and throw them into the lake of fire. So that's what's coming. But before that time comes, we're going to have to go through this hard times when they're going to lock down everything on the internet. But that's all I have for today. So God bless, and we will see you in the next one.